Hello everybody, welcome back. Right, an update on the Gousto recipe box, because I did say when I did the unboxing that I'd let you know what I thought. Well, from what I can see, from that and the HelloFresh, the only real difference is the fact that they're packaged. The HelloFresh comes sort of in a bag with a number on and just tally up the recipe card with the bag. And the only real difference with Gousto is that it all comes in the box and the meat comes in the freezer and cold section. And as you saw on the video, we just sort of separated the bits out with the menu card, put them in a bag or just separate in the fridge and did it that way. So really that's the only difference that I can see so far. The actual dishes themselves are delicious. I mean, we started off, the first one we did was this one here, which is the haddock. Now, we didn't have the haddock, they actually replaced that with cod. And it was absolutely delicious, really was. Nice bits of, fish, nice thick fish, very tasty with the flatbreads as well. Then the next one we had was the curry. That was delicious. And I don't know where Gousto find their chicken from, but there was hardly any fat on it whatsoever. I mean, I did just sort of check it just to make sure everything was all right, because with chicken you just don't know, do you? But it's absolutely fantastic. There was just no fat on it at all. Cut up really nicely. I cut it into chunks. Then we had the sweet and smoky barbecue chicken fajitas. Again, the chicken was absolutely fantastic. No problem, no fat on it, nothing like that at all. I say all the ingredients have been very fresh, very tasty. No problem at all. So what we're going to have now today is this one. It's the creamy carbonara risotto with balsamic tomatoes. So what I thought I'd do is I'd get all the bits and bobs out that's required, all the ingredients, then I'll just sort of, as I cook it, I'll just film the odd section of me cooking this and you can see what it looks like at the end. And then the last one we've got to do is just the barbecue halloumi. Right. Creamy carbonara risotto with balsamic tomatoes. So what I like to do, I mean, everybody has their own way of cooking, but things like where you've got to cook the bacon, add the onion, add the garlic, things like that, I'll get that all prepared on a plate. So you've got the bacon, the onion, all chopped, and the garlic. Now there's 4 cloves of garlic there, so it's probably not a first date meal, or if your partner likes garlic, then well, why not? I'm going to cook that all in a saucepan. So I'm going to cook the bacon first, then add the onions, add the garlic. What we've also got over here as well is the tomatoes. Now these go on a baking tray in the oven, and then we've got the eggs, the rice ready to put with the vegetable stock, and that's going to be ready, and that goes in the saucepan once we've done the bacon and the onions. There's our bacon. Add it to the pan, and then you cook that till it goes crispy, and then you add your onions and garlic. I've just added the onions and garlic, and give that a whole stir for a few minutes, and then we'll add the rice and then the stock. We've just added the risotto rice, so give that a stir for about a minute with the onion, garlic and bacon. Now we're going to start adding the stock now, and then you add this just a little bit at a time, and as the rice starts to soak it up, you just add a bit more stock. You'll see that just starts to soak it up nicely, and you just keep adding the stock each section or each time, and then it will just soak up. Now, with regards to the eggs, to the carbonara sauce, all you actually use is the egg yolks. You don't use the egg whites. So what I thought I'd do is with the egg whites, I'm actually going to make just a small omelette, just with the 2 egg whites, just to have on the side. So I'm actually going to do this in the microwave. I'll show you how I do this. So while I'm stirring that, I'll leave that for a second, and then all I'm going to do is, with the egg whites, just put a tiny bit of milk with it, whisk it up, put it in this microwavable dish with a little bit of butter, and that's it. Okay, so that's a little bit of milk in with the egg whites, and then I'll just put a little bit of butter, well, flora, in that microwavable dish, and then all I'm going to do is just whisk this up, as you can see, And then I'm just going to pour that in there and then put it in the microwave. But I'm going to start it off at about a minute and then see how we look. Okay, it's going to want a bit longer, so another minute. Actually, I'm going to give it a bit of a stir. So that's nearly there, that's an egg white omelette. So I'm going to put it in there, and then just as we're nearly done, I'm going to just switch it on for about another 30 seconds, I think. Right, I'll get that ready, then carry on with this. We're going to put the last bit of stock in now. Okay, that's the last now of the stock. Got to keep on going now until this thickens. It'll take a few minutes to soak up all that juice there. And then what you do is, once that's all to a more of a rice and risotto consistency, you then add the Chinese rice wine. And then once that's in, stir that in for a little while and then take it off the heat. And then you add the eggs, the egg yolks, off the heat, stirring quite vigorously before it all turns into scrambled egg. So your carbonara sauce is the 2 egg yolks, some of that cheese and a splash of water. And that's your carbonara. That's what you add to your risotto. Once you've had the Chinese rice wine stirred in, take it off the heat before you add the eggs. And there is your omelette. So as you can see there, that's starting to thicken now. And then in a few minutes we'll add the Chinese rice wine. And then take it off the heat and add the eggs. Okay, we're now going to add the Chinese rice wine. So I think this is about there. You just be careful with this. You need to keep an eye on it because it's just a fine line from being almost there to sticking to the bottom of the pan. So we'll just add the Chinese rice wine. We'll stir that in for a while. Right, so the Chinese rice wine's been in there for about a minute, so I'm going to take it off the heat now. Move it onto this one here, and then we're going to add the eggs. I hope it don't turn into scrambled eggs. And that is the carbonara sauce, that's with the cheese and a splash of water. Okay, it's all looking good. Right, I'll stir this through just for another few seconds, and then we'll get it dished up with the tomatoes that have been roasting in the oven and the omelette on the side that was made with the egg whites. So creamy carbonara risotto with balsamic tomatoes. And there's our version. So, not too dissimilar. That wasn't too bad to do that. And then I've done the other one here for Mrs. James B. And that's with that egg white, just a little omelette on the side, just to go with it, just to use up those egg whites. Well, that was delicious. Could eat that all over again. So that was creamy carbonara risotto with balsamic tomatoes from Gousto. Delicious. Right, see you soon.